Emmerdale has lined up a major 2017 throwback in Graham Foster's storyline following his shock return in the hour-long Corriedale crossover special. Despite seemingly being killed off by Pierce Harris back in 2020, Andrew Scarborough reprised his role as Graham last month and has been stirring things up ever since. Graham was introduced to the soap back in 2017 as Joe Tate's loyal co-conspirator/manservant, and it now looks as though the job as Joe's right-hand man is up for grabs again. In tonight's episode, a shocked Gabby and Lydia entered Home Farm, where they came face-to-face with Graham. Joe and Graham decided to get ahead of the rumour mill by heading to the Woolpack, revealing to all that Graham was alive. After their shocking entrance, Sam said he barely recognised Graham, as he used to always wear a suit, with Joe replying, "Only when he's working for me." Later, Graham turned up at Home Farm wearing a suit, with Joe asking if it meant he was back working for him. Graham said he had a meeting at the bank, asking Joe, "Why? What were you thinking?" Joe replied, "Nothing. Only, the position is still available." Graham said he would polish up his CV, hinting that the pair would be reigniting their old dynamic sometime soon. Also in tonight's episode, Graham and Caleb Milligan crossed paths, and it was revealed that the pair had already met. How they know each other has yet to be revealed. He also bumped into Ryan Stocks, who he previously locked in a shed. That particular storyline occurred in January 2020. With Ryan being a computer expert, Graham sought his skills to help him steal Kim's money, so he could start a new life with Rona away from Emmerdale. However, the surprise partnership turned nasty, and Ryan found himself threatened by Graham and locked in a hut at the Outdoor Pursuit Centre. Will the pair bury the hatchet? Emmerdale airs on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX. He was supposed to be dead, another ghost buried in the village's long, violent history. Pierce Harris had made sure of that, or so everyone believed back in 2020. The story had been told, retold, and finally accepted. Graham Foster was gone, and with him, a chapter of secrets, threats, and ruthless ambition. Until the hour-long Corriedale crossover changed everything. The first sign came quietly, almost politely. No dramatic music. No sudden reveal. Just a shadow moving where no shadow should be. By the time Emmerdale caught up, Graham Foster was already walking among them. Gabby Thomas stopped dead in the doorway of Home Farm. Lydia Dingle nearly walked straight into her. "What are you doing?" Lydia snapped, then she saw him. The air seemed to vanish from the room. Graham stood near the fireplace, hands casually in his pockets, dressed down in a dark jacket and boots. No suit. No crisp professionalism. Just a man who looked like he'd stepped out of the grave and into their lives without asking permission. Gabby's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Lydia crossed herself. Gabby finally whispered. "You're dead." Graham tilted his head, the faintest trace of a smile pulling at his lips. "So I've heard." Joe Tate stepped forward, calm as ever, like this was all part of a carefully rehearsed play. "Good to see you, Gabby," Joe said smoothly. "Lydia." Lydia found her voice first. "You can't just walk back in here like nothing happened." Joe glanced at Graham. "That's exactly why we thought it best to get ahead of the rumour mill." The Woolpack had seen its fair share of shocks, affairs exposed, murders confessed, secrets screamed across the bar. But nothing quite like this. Joe Tate pushed open the door, Graham beside him. The pub went silent. Chairs scraped. Glasses froze mid-air. Sam Dingle squinted, leaning forward. "Blimey, I barely recognised you." Graham raised an eyebrow. "That so? You always wore a suit," Sam continued. "Like some posh hitman." Joe smiled faintly. "Only when he's working for me." The room buzzed instantly. Whispers. Questions. Accusations. "He's alive." "But Pierce, I swear I saw." Joe raised his glass. "As you can see, Graham Foster is very much alive." Graham didn't speak. He didn't need to. His presence alone unsettled the room more than any speech could. He scanned the pub slowly, eyes lingering on familiar faces. Some fearful, some furious, some clearly wishing they were anywhere else. And then his gaze locked onto Ryan Stocks. Ryan stiffened. Their last encounter replayed in his mind like a nightmare he'd never quite woken up from. Later that evening, Graham returned to Home Farm. This time he wore a suit. Joe noticed immediately. He leaned against the kitchen counter, arms folded. "That's familiar." Graham adjusted his cufflinks. "I've got a meeting at the bank." Joe's eyes narrowed. "Does that mean you're back working for me?" Graham paused. "Then, why? What were you thinking?" Joe shrugged, feigning indifference. "Nothing. Only, the position's still available." A beat passed. Graham smiled slowly. I'll polish up my CV. It was a joke, but not really. Because both men knew the truth. When Graham Foster worked for Joe Tate, people got hurt. Fortunes shifted. Lines were crossed that could never be uncrossed. And Emmerdale had survived that once. Barely. Elsewhere, the past came knocking. Caleb Milligan nearly collided with Graham outside the village shop. They froze. Not strangers. Not friends. Something else. You, Caleb said carefully. Graham smirked. Didn't think I'd see you here. Caleb's jaw tightened. Funny. I was thinking the same. No explanation followed. No backstory given. Just a shared look heavy with unfinished business. For now, the mystery remained. But Emmerdale had learned something important that night. Graham Foster hadn't just come back from the dead. He'd brought old secrets with him. Ryan didn't sleep. Every sound outside his window made him jump. The memory wouldn't leave him. The cold air of the outdoor pursuits center, the dark hut, the lock clicking shut. Graham's voice, calm and threatening all at once. Back in January 2020, Graham had needed Ryan's skills. Needed his mind. A computer expert. A hacker. Someone who could help him steal Kim Tate's money, so he could disappear. Start a new life with Rona far away from Emmerdale. At first, it was just business. Then it turned ugly. Threats. Fear. A locked door. Ryan swallowed hard when he saw Graham again in the village. Their eyes met. Graham gave a small nod. Acknowledgement. Not apology. The question hung between them. Would they bury the hatchet, or sharpen it? As night fell over Emmerdale, one thing was certain. Graham Foster's return wasn't about closure. It was about unfinished business. And if the past was any indication, the village wasn't ready for what came next.